Good evening and welcome to our 18th episode of Neurodigest here on Science TV. I'm your host Sylvia Mochabo and my interpreter is here, and we have two guests. As you can see, today is a ladies' house and we are queening for today. If you can see, there's another sash today, not just me alone, and we would like to dive into this episode. But before we get there, let us get to know who our guests are so that at least we can prep our minds and know what lies ahead. Karibuni.
Asante.
Yes. Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers and let us know who you are, what you do, so that at least they can know who's in the room.
Okay, I'm Anastasia Njoki. I'm the project manager, StepUp for Autism organization.
I'm Sarah Gosigori and I'm Light of Autism 2019.
Okay, Miss Light of Autism 2019. So she's the reigning princess or queen. Yeah, she's the reigning queen for Autism Lights. And we are glad to have them here in the studio. And we'd like to first understand what it is that they do. But before we go there, please remember you can interact with us on our social media pages. That is Andy Speaks 4 on Twitter, Andy Speaks on Instagram, and on Facebook, Andy Speaks for Special Needs Persons Africa. And also on our Science TV handles on Twitter and on Facebook. And if you have any questions, there is our SMS number. That is 20508. So you can send us a text and we will revert to you. I wanted to give you some time to learn some sign language. I hope you were able to tally that. 20508. That is our SMS number. And we'll start with you, Anastasia.
Yes,
so tell us, what is your organization about? What do you do? How was it founded? How old are you? And what can you say are your greatest achievements in the space for autism? Because remember, we are in this season, we're focusing on autism. So we've taken a very long journey. We've understood what autism is. We've had therapists. We've had a doctor in here explaining. We have talked people on early intervention. We've actually had practicals also on how to handle therapy. Like at the clinic and at home. We've also had learned about learning disabilities and other diseases and other conditions that actually coexist with autism spectrum disorder. So for you as an organization, you're there to support the autistic community. So give us the how, when, the nitty-gritties of how you do it.
Okay, so in many organizations, we have people that, so some organizations that go for stem cell therapy, others ABA therapy, others occupational therapy, and others that really require people that to focus on education for them to get educated. Now for us as StepUp for Autism organization, we really look up to therapies, that is occupational therapy, speech therapy, and also we really insist on education because we like it when these students are really educated, for them to be able to learn a lot and feel that they're not left behind, or there is a gap between them.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you play a part in education when you say that is what you focus on? So in what way exactly?
By training people on how to get to understand such people and making them not feel like they're all alone in this spectrum. Okay. So we tend to some nurses in some public institutions. So we have the nurses and maternity wards whereby they go and educate the parents on how to learn the early symptoms so that they can learn the early interventions earlier on for early diagnosis.
Okay.
Yes, and we also have whereby we go to remote areas, educate the parents in some forums and make them understand it better and how to treat, to understand and deal with the situation at the moment. Okay. Yes, because it's so hard whereby many people never want to release their children and make them free to the people, so they keep on hiding them. So we kind of try to train them on how to identify and how to deal with the situation, not just because in some remote areas most of them won't have the money to take them for the therapies.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you educate the parents, you educate nurses so that they can identify the early symptoms of autism.
Yes.
Then you create awareness in the rural area.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So that's specifically for autistic condition.
Yeah.
Not condition. Autistic spectrum disorder.
Yes.
All right. Okay, that's good. And then one thing that you guys don't know or could just find out, Sarah here is actually an Aussie. We call them Aussies, right?
Yeah.
How do you like it? Which one do you prefer?
Actually, because I recently learned that there's a slang word to it.
Okay,
So
educators. It's autism. Oh yeah, autism. Yeah, she is an autism. That means she's actually autistic. So we'd like to just hear a bit about her, and then we see how she comes into play with this. How did she even end up being Miss Light of Autism, and what pushed her to it, and what does it entail when you're actually the reigning queen? So Sarah, over to you.
Yes. Okay. From the starting of how I ended up here was I was really going through a lot before now accepting autism itself. I've always known I had autism, but I didn't really accept it.
Okay.
So it came around like when I dropped out of a university or an institution I was in.
Okay.
And I was struggling on being myself basically. So from that, I was seeking for a place where I can get support.
Okay.
So people suggested to me that I should go look for a support group on Facebook, and then I went to my Facebook and I typed something to do with autism. Then Kenya Autism Alliance came. And that was it. I saw like a poster after like two weeks after joining it, and yeah, that's where it started.
That's where the journey started of being Miss Light of Autism Kenya 2019. So over to you.
Yes,
so how does StepUp come in when it comes to this pageant?
What we do is we create a forum whereby we let them participate in it, because most people tend to think that they cannot get into such activities. So we bring such activities to make them feel participated or included in the community. Yes. Yeah. So such we plan for such an event every year on April, because that is the April the World Autism Day
Awareness Month is in April, and Awareness Day is on the 3rd April. Yes. So how many years have you done it?
3 years.
For 3 years.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a long time. And how many contestants have you gotten? And how did you reach out to her? Okay, how she got from social media.
Yes.
But how about others? And is it all of them? Because I remember I had an interaction like she is the queen, but there is someone else. There was something.
Miss Autism.
Yes. So what's the difference?
Okay, what we do, we have the Mr. Autism Kenya, and then Miss Autism, and then the Light of Autism. That is the atypical. So what we do, we have the neurotypicals, then that is the Mr. and Miss, to help them be ambassadors of the organization and help us to reach to the people with autism. Yes.
Okay, so just to break that down so that you can understand, because I realize that's a lot of jargon for public. So generally, the Mr. and the Miss Autism are neurotypical, meaning they are what people like calling normal, but I think everyone is normal in their own way. But then now Sarah here is the one representing actual an autistic person. Like we said, the slang version of it is Aussie, so you need to have at least one Aussie in the quorum. So she's the light, like she's shedding the light, she's the example of living the life of an autistic person, while the other two actually are champions, like raising awareness and all these other services that are done by StepUp for Autism, which I think is something pretty cool. Like she said, not many people expect autistic persons to be able to step out, and because most of the time when we say they're nonverbal, when we say that they're not able to socialize, you think there is nothing else they can do, especially when it requires a lot of mingling. And I'm sure in your journey, those are some of the things when you tell people like, I'm autistic, they look at you like, they were again, you know, because it does not help when autism is something that's invisible. Because if someone walks up to you and they can see you're normal, you're what, how has that been for you?
It's been like, it's been a journey, because trying to explain to someone that you're different, and not by the looks of like your parents and stuff, it's so annoying, but you get
used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Okay, but what is the, let's say, what is the most annoying? Let me use the word you used. What's the most annoying that you have ever had to go through?
The most annoying thing is being told you're so weird.
Weird.
Yeah, being so weird, like you're being told, you're not like the rest, you're so weird.
But you're autistic. Everyone is weird in their own way. So what makes you any weirder? You know, if you have a problem with me, I am not weird. I am who I am.
Yeah.
So take me as I am, and that's the problem with society that we need to change. Like, if this is my character, if this is how I live, if this is how I do my thing, accept me for who I am. Don't try and fit me in your box. And that's where we go wrong. Because look at Sarah, she's pretty, she's got it. We started for them. She's like, she got it. See, you know, she can do it. Yeah. It's just that there are challenges, neurodevelopmental challenges that you go through. But as you can see, I'm sure her parents have put in a lot of time, resources, and a lot of love to make her turn out to and be who she is today. But then now you find society is always there trying to just taint whatever. You try and stand up, it's like they're beating you down, reminding you the way you can't. But we want to show you that you actually can. And you can make a lot out of a child who's autistic. You just need to embrace and accept. So tell us, growing up, how was that?
Growing up, I grew up just like any child, but now development-wise, it was hard. Like, okay, I could imitate other kids when we were playing and stuff like that, but now when it came to school, that was now the difference.
Oh, when you went now to school?
Yeah.
Normal school, integrated, or special school?
Normal school.
You went to a normal school?
Yeah.
Wow, how was that?
It was a struggle. It was a struggle, yeah.
All through you've been in a normal school?
Not all through, like throughout primary I was in a normal school, then when I was in class 6, class 7 there, when they started noticing that I'm getting lower grades, that's when I was shifted to a special school.
Okay, so that's when now they realized something was going on. Okay, how did your parents take it?
Okay, they were told before. I think when I was still a young child, that they were told that I would be autistic, and I don't know what next happened, but now the whole struggle of looking for schools.
So the main challenge now came when you got to class 6. Because you know, like there is some time last week I was saying at that time I'm averaging is the time you're getting to adolescence. So that's usually the hardest part. Because you see, there's self-discovery. Everyone is growing. Everyone is changing. You trying to find who you are, but then there are things beyond your control that you can't basically understand. Yeah? Is that right? You know, now you're the one who's I'm telling you what I hear. I have 3 years to get to teenage, so I'm like, oh, help me, God. You know, I'm trying to understand. And actually, Andrew has already started acting out. Like last night, he was a disaster. I felt like pulling my hair. I mean, practically like, no, somebody get me out of here. Then he hit me like he's 9. And this day and age, they're changing earlier because I can see he's become different. And I'm like, so help me, God, I need to balance this. So please, teach us. At least show us the light at the end of the tunnel, because it was not easy. You know, sometimes when you talk about it, you're talking to other people and you're okay with it. But then at the end of the day, it's still difficult. For me as a parent, it's still difficult, because now I can relate to the way you're saying when they got to class 6 and now it became a challenge. Because I'm trying to think, oh, this is such a, coochie baby. Then all of a sudden it's like, no. I'm like, why are you talking to like that? And then you remind yourself, okay, you need to treat him in a, you know, like be understanding. So it's also for us parents, it's not something that is very easy. And I'm glad actually you're doing the enlightenment. So far, how many like counties, how many places have you gone to? How much impact can you say that StepUp has been able to impact?
We've been to Kajiado. We actually have our therapy whereby we go there monthly, and then we've been early this year in April. We were in Eldoret creating awareness there in a town called Iten. Yes,
Iten. Oh yeah, you had it was a race or something.
Yes, it was a marathon.
Oh, a marathon. So you went to Kipwewe. Okay.
Yes.
So you went to the land of the people who actually ran. Should bring us bring it to us so we can try and learn, you know. When you put me there with Akina Elid, of course, that's a joke. Let us work, or you just give us a head start of like maybe 2 hours. You know?
And by the way, we also have another therapy center along Juja Road, that is in Nairobi, Mathare. Yes.
Right. Okay. So when you say a therapy center, so it's a section where you set aside and parents can come and bring their children for therapy.
Yes.
I'm assuming occupational therapy, speech therapy, which therapy?
Occupational therapy and speech therapy.
So both of them.
Yes.
What are the services? For free? We pay just.
We just do it for free every Saturday from 8 a.m. to around 2 p.m. Because mostly the biggest challenge you have is having consistent parents. So by which you won't be able to record the improvement of the child. But at least so far we have 22 kids that have been consistent. Yes. Okay. And that's our...
Wow, that's something very commendable. At least now the parents know there is someone who's got your back when it comes to occupational therapy and speech therapy, and it is for free, right?
Yes.
Madare, give us the exact location so that at least someone, I'm sure there could be a parent seated somewhere be like, oh my God, I need that, and I can't afford it, but then, yeah, let's hear.
Okay, it's along Juja Road, next to Olympic petrol station. Yes.
Juja Road alone, okay.
That is Poolmaster's building.
Okay, thank you. I was waiting for that, at least a landmark. Okay, so we are here in the house. It's a ladies' night, as you can see, and a queening one at that. As you can see, we have 2 queens in the house, myself and Sarah, and we're both from Kissy. Giddy up.
Hey.
You know, I forgot to mention that when we started. Representing Banana Land, so we are here. And we're sharing with you her life. She's on Otsi, and she's currently the Light of Autism Kenya 2019. And we have a representative from StepUp for Autism that organizes the pageant here in our country once every year. In April, where we have April normally is actually the Autism Awareness Month. And 3rd of April is the International Day for Autism. So we will take a short break so that us guys can take a break, and then we will be right back in a few minutes. So if you have any questions, remember our SMS numbers are open. It's 20508, and you can engage us on our social media pages. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Neurodigest, our 18th episode, and today we have guests. Like we said, it is a ladies' night, and we are talking about one of the organizations that helps and supports autism spectrum disorder parents and caregivers by creating awareness and availing services for them so that at least we can alleviate some of these costs. Remember, we had said earlier that it is usually a very expensive affair, especially when we have to do therapy. You have to do occupational therapy, you have to do speech therapy. There are those who need physio, and there are those who need assistive devices, and you will find some other times where the children actually require visual aids, because remember, it's a spectrum, and there are those who have the conditions that also come along with it that require medication. So as wide as the spectrum is, as wide as we need support and services that will make our lives easier as parents and caregivers. Now, I would like to take us back to Anastasia and ask, we mentioned about nurses, right?
Yes.
So where do you find the nurses? How do you judge? Do you take people who actually have the passion for autistic children? Or, oh, you're a nurse, come, I want to teach you something. Or how, and then how do they actually choose who to talk to about autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders when they're creating the awareness in the hospital? How do you nurture them so that they do it correctly and identify the right people?
Okay, in the organization, we have most people, we work mostly with the youths. So we have the nurses, we have people with different courses. So the nurses in our midst, that's where we tend to teach them more on autism. And now what we do is like ask for a day to a certain hospital, and then we go there and talk to the executive. Then get the permission, then that's where we go to learning, making the parents understand it.
Okay, so you go targeted to the maternity ward, or is it so you? I'm just trying. There's a point of trying to put across. So the nurses that you have, yeah, they're in school or they're practicing nurses. That is one that's not clear as yet.
Oh, we have some in school, and we have some that are already done with school. So they're nurses.
Then they're practicing nurses,
yes.
certified nurses.
Exactly.
So how long do they get trained before they can go out and, with that authority of I understand what I'm talking about?
Well, we always have a training program for an organization, and that that happens every twice a month. Yes, for them to get more educated on autism.
How long does the course take?
We have like 6 months. Yes, that is twice a month.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. So 18 of them. 12. Yeah. So okay, and then do they sit an exam for you to come to check that they understand what they're talking about, or?
Yeah, they have to go through such questioning from the therapist.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, but what they do is just awareness. They don't interfere. Like you see now, you just mentioned they're guided by the therapist, right?
Yes.
But all they do is just educate, like pass on they're like champions, for lack of a better word, right? So they just go and educate the parents, like, oh, there is this condition. So now when they get to that point, so they just talk to every mother in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, so that they are aware. Okay, I think that is something that's very commendable, because when we did the Cycle for Autism Awareness in April, we realized when we went through all the counties, not all doctors actually know what autism is, and they don't understand. So my question was, if these are the doctors, they're the ones we rely on, and the nurses, to tell me as a mother that, okay, your child is slow, most of the time they tell you, kila mtoto na speed yake. Like every child has their own pace, which is not correct.
Yeah.
Because when a parent raises concern that my son has not, my daughter has not, you should note it so that you follow up and do something about it. So I'm glad at least something is being done in that front, so that at least more people are aware. That means our parents will be informed in good time. Remember, we all want early intervention because our child's brain matures around 5-7 years and by 10 years. So we need to identify this condition early so that you can mold your child and try and intervene and do the therapies so that they can live a near normal life as much as possible. Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. Now, Sarah, I want to step a bit into your private life. Now that we said that, yeah, you started, you went to school, you were in a normal school, then you went to a special school. I'm sure a special school was a bit easier.
Yeah.
It was easier. The people were more accommodated.
Yeah.
All right. So you went until you mentioned about being in university or college.
It was an institute.
Oh, it's an institute.
Yeah,
okay. So after high school, how I know most people ask this question, so let me be the devil's advocate. So, you know, because it's questions people wonder, like, how do they get to do this? So how did you do CPE? How was your education like? Like, did you sit like everyone else? Did they give you a different paper? Those are the 20,000 questions everyone wonders when they see a fully grown person who says they're autistic here in our country. Because, you know, people are just learning to know about autism. So people assume all autistic people are children. No living proof.
Yeah, so I actually did my IGCSE. I was in a British school.
Okay.
I was in Kestrel Manor. I'm an alumni there. So, yeah.
Okay.
It was just normal kind of like examination.
Yeah. All right. But then at least you're given your own speed. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
So at least you're lucky enough not to have to do KCP. Okay. Phew. But you see, why I ask that is because most of the time we have parents who cannot afford to take their children to special schools, and actually that specialized special schools. Because most of the government special schools, they still have to seek for KCPE. And when you look at the different abilities that autistic people have, I always put myself in their shoe and I wonder, just those, because I read somewhere, I could be wrong, that it's like they're given like 30 minutes extra. And I'm thinking, my son is 9. He cannot even write, like, even we're still on coloring mode. So by the time he will be able to breathe nicely, color within borders, for us at least consistency is like, yeah, great achievement. I'm thinking exams. Are we being serious? You know? But at least I know verbal he can take. Like if you ask him, do this, do that, that he can do. It's just this part of writing, maintaining, and the system. So no matter how many, I don't know how many years of therapy we've done and whatnot, but I still have faith that we will get there. Did you have, what were your symptoms like?
Mine was I couldn't write well, and I couldn't, like, if I was given a storybook, I would really struggle on like pronouncing words.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you could read, but then you could read like you can understand.
Yeah.
But that just the reading.
Yeah, just the reading.
So those are the learning challenges that come with it. So now that you finished school and you went to the institute, and you're 25,
yes.
and you know here in Africa, we always have like those of like, hey, you know. We always ask that question of like, so in black and white, it's like, so are you dating? How is your social life like? Like, how is it dealing with that aspect of life? Because we're all human, we all want to be with someone. But then has being autistic ever been a challenge in that space? And if so, how?
Yes, it has been a challenge because as a person living with autism, I also face like struggle in expressing myself.
Okay.
So that also affects my social life. But yeah, there are people out there that are good-hearted and are patient enough to like have a friendship with you. So yeah, making friends, I do make a lot of friends.
You do make friends, okay. And keeping them making it easy is just people like, hey, I'm so and so, you're so and so. Because I've seen that with my son. He makes friends with everyone. But then after a while, he's pissed off that one, he's done that one, like, God, you're gonna have a tough time, you know. But yet, if you look at their hearts, like, they have such a big heart, they want to love and they give their all to it.
Yeah.
So does that sometimes come like you feel like I don't want to do this anymore because you get into a relationship, whichever relationship that is, and then you're really trying hard and it's beyond you, and then people give up on you? Does that happen?
Yeah, it happens a lot because you're in a relationship with someone, like friendship, and like you want to talk about like, okay, friendship entails of you guys sharing each other's problems and stuff like that. But for us, it's like you are carrying a lot of baggage in you, and that's when they try and like
crawl away. People like, I don't want no more drama.
She's weird.
When they say weird, explain weird. I just don't get it when someone says someone is weird. I don't get it. There is nothing like being weird. You are who you are. It's either you like me, you don't like me. There's a habit I have that you can't deal with, which is your problem. Because it is who I am. No, because when we talk about embracing difference and talking about being inclusive, everyone has that weird habit. You know, there's that one thing about everyone that icks someone else, and someone else can't stand it. Then there is that something about me that someone else likes, someone else cannot stand. You know, that's about community. That's what do you call it? Being together and persevering each other's differences and stuff like that is all about. So, what do they find weird? Have you ever asked someone like, "What do you mean I'm weird? Like, tell me now. Define weird."
Yeah, I would ask them, what do you find weird about me? Like, oh my gosh, you're just so different, as in like the way you express yourself, it's not like.
But we know autists have no filters. The minute I tell you I'm autistic, guys know I have no filters, you know. I'll give it to you as it is because that's what it is. By the way, they don't lie because that's too much work. So I always tell you guys, don't go telling autists secrets, because they'll tell you, oh, yeah, we did this, but they said I should not tell you, but that's what we did. Because that's truthful. There's nothing weird about that. It's just that the world has put benchmarks, that, like stamps and expectations that we want everyone to fit in that space, which is not right. Which is not right.
Yeah.
So there's nothing weird. It is just you're being as authentic as it gets.
Yes.
And I'm sure when you're expressing yourself, you're just, this is what I feel.
Yeah.
There is no that atiweka filter kanyagia kidogo, don't say this. No, it is what it is, man. Deal with it. So it's people who can't deal with the emotion.
Yeah.
Because society has always told you, mind someone else. But if you're hurt, you're hurt. If I love you, I love you. If I don't feel your vibe, I don't feel your vibe. But then you expect people to be like, Akiwo, yeah, let me think of... There is nothing like that in your world. Is there? Yeah. No, there isn't. So it's not about being weird. Amma, did I put it correctly? I am from what I've learned and what I've read, because I took a course on autism just to get to understand, and sometimes I always encourage parents, read as much as you can. It will help you to understand your child, understand what it is that they're going through. It does not make life easy, it makes it easier, because everything that you go through for the first time and everyone's experience is different. But you see, if I hear your experience now, I'm like, okay, the day I see him behaving like this, I'm like, okay, I hear you, I can see you, like, come slowly, I'm ready for you, because I've read about it. But sometimes the things that come like such a bombshell. So are there any special things, Sasha, that you guys have gone through in your ventures of going to create awareness around, especially in the rural areas? What do you say would be the most unique and the most, in this autism spectrum diversity, what would be that one thing that you come across? If you do go to the field, first of all,
yes,
you do go to the field, so okay, so let's not make assumptions, we all know. So when you go out there, what is that? Because you see, you're a neurotypical person, dealing with the neurodiverse, you're not a parent, no? It's just out of passion, right? Yeah. Or is it because it's your job?
No,
it's because it's a
no, it's actually not a job, it's just voluntary.
It's voluntary service.
Yes.
So you see, it comes from her. Well, give us, just paint for us a picture of the one thing that either touched your heart or you found very weird. Like, take us through your world of when you're out there raising awareness.
Okay, the most difficult moments that we have, like getting to the rural areas, like for instance, going to Kajiado, we had dealing with parents that they don't know how to speak in Kiswahili. They just speak in Maasai. Wow. So we need to get an interpreter to explain to us what they are saying. And still a problem that they encounter is having the to raise the money for taking their kids to hospital, because some people some of the kids with, in the spectrum, they tend to have the convulsions, so they don't know how to deal with it. Yes. So again, that calls for money and an ambulance or something, and for them to be rushed to hospital. Yes.
I'm trying to put myself in that, like I'm trying to talk to you, I can't figure, and then if you lose anything in interpretation, who do we sue? You or the interpreter? Because you see, those are some of the challenges. And how is stigma like? Do they embrace? How do you even get to know that there are special needs children here and here? Do you have people on the ground who tell you, I've spotted a child here? Or do you call out and put like a notice that you're coming? How do you go about that?
Okay, what we do, we go to the chief area, and then we talk to him about the situation, and then that's where he organizes a forum.
A baraza.
Yes, where we go and talk to them, and they share with us the problems. Then that is where we also go with the therapist and offer our services to them.
Oh wow,
yes,
that is very commendable. Now, I know there is a conference we had this year and you were part of the organizers. That was the first ever Pan-Africa Congress on Autism. It was PACA, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. I remember. And it was like very intense. We had people from across the world, practically. Yes. And we sat together as parents, caregivers, doctors. We were just discussing what works for us here in Africa. And that was the first one. And we're looking forward to have the second one next year in Ghana, to be hosted in Ghana. So you all who want to learn, want to understand, or want to gain, better start saving. We know this is Kenya, this is Africa. We need to be given advance warning. So it was something that was actually worth the while, because you actually get to talk to these international doctors who have done research, who understand the spectrum inside and out. Yeah.
Yes.
So if someone wants to register, where do they go?
We have the Kenya Autism Alliance and the PACA website. Yes.
Okay.
On Facebook, they can just look on Kenya Autism Alliance and they'll get the PACA link.
Okay.
Yes.
I am sitting here, I'm confused, so my viewers must be very confused.
Okay.
So you go you go to Kenya Autism Alliance website.
Yes.
Then you will find a link to PACA.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just to clarify that. It was a bit confusing there.
So
all right. So now in Ghana, where exactly in Ghana is it going to be? Accra?
In Labadi Beach.
Labadi, okay, that's Accra, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Accra. Yeah, I've been there, pretty place. We will save up to go there. It's very beautiful. Golden beaches, a bit dirty, but yeah, beautiful Kenya. You go there, you appreciate your country. But yes, and the Atlantic Ocean is cold. Let me warn you. Okay, sawa. That is quite commendable in what it actually we are doing. If you were to quantitate, what is the plan? You've mentioned Kajiado, you've mentioned in P10.
Yes.
Where are you going next?
Next year we'll be having our marathon at Kapsabet, Nandi County.
Why Nandi? Why keep what?
Okay, because there's different areas where most people don't know more about it.
Okay, so what is the essence of it? When you're doing the marathons out there, is it for people to participate or for you to create awareness? Depends with the target. So what's your target? Tell us what's your target when you're doing the marathon?
Creating awareness, that is always our target.
Okay.
Because we want people to be more educated on how to deal with people in the spectrum.
Okay.
Yes, and we'll be going next year in April. Yes.
Okay. April next year.
Yes.
So that's still the same month. You'll still have the Mr. and Miss Autism at the same month.
Yes, and also the PACA conference.
So that's a lot for 1 month, but okay, we managed it this year. We will hack it again. But the pageant comes right after the conference, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So have you started, like, do you prep them? Like, Sarah, how did they teach you how to walk? Do you have any special cause? I know this is actually my cause as Miss Africa, raising awareness and teaching and empowering parents and caregivers about neurodevelopmental disorders. Just the fact that my kids are autistic, I've opted to do the entire group of neurodevelopmental disorders. So for you as a beauty queen and a StepUp, I don't know how orientation is done for you guys, because you see that's just the title. For us, pageantry is totally different. And I know I tried to explain in the first episode that pageantry and beauty titles are not the same. Yeah. So what is your cause, if any, and how has your journey been when you're reigning? And are there any questions that people ask you when you say you are, and they're like how, and stuff like that?
Okay, my title entails of me, I represent the challenges, the strength and talents that an autistic individual has.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my projects are like raising awareness, basically.
Okay.
And trying to encourage more autistes like me to come out and just accept
who they are. You mentioned that you just recently accepted. What was holding you back? Like, what were you going through that it was hard for you to have acceptance? Because I can imagine for parents it's usually hard. For you as a person actually living with the condition, being in the stigma, in the center of it, how was that acceptance process for you?
It was a struggle because when I was in that institute, I was really trying. I focused on being like the rest of my peers, so that really brought me down. Like I didn't accept of being different.
Or you are trying to fit in the box that you forgot there is a Sarah somewhere within you.
It's different.
And that's usually a lot of work. Girl, you gave yourself a lot of work. I cannot even begin to imagine, because that's the one thing I always say. You are uniquely you. Embrace you the way you are. Love yourself 110. So that you can give 10, you remain with 100. I always say you cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot give for a cup that does not belong to you. So always have yourself first. You're pretty, you're beautiful, you're knowledgeable. You have gone against odds because where you are now. Whoever says weird, that's their problem. That's their problem. Like, you deal with yourself. That's not on me, that's on you. So if you are coming into my space, terms and conditions apply. Even Safaricom always has terms and conditions. You know? And the service provider, like, this is who I am. Understand me. If you understand me, our lives will be easier. When you feel either I'm coming out too strong, I'm sure all you want is someone to just take you for who you are and they talk to you. Just talk to me, tell me when you feel I'm being weird, as you guys call it. But when she's being herself, the best thing you can do is just like, hey chick, I love you, but here I need you to just take me slowly. Like, give me doses. Because it's also not easy, as much as we're saying. It's not easy for a neurotypical person to have to deal and to actually, especially when you're starting, because this is a whole new thing to them. But just embrace, like, try and be understanding. The more you go, if you go with a closed mind, it will be harder for both of you. But just come with an open mind. That way, when your eyes don't have scales, even the Bible says it, or logs, you will be able to clearly see an individual for the beauty that they have, for who it is that they are. And most of the time, I'm sure the friends that have stayed by are the ones that actually help you walk, help you discover yourself. You know, because everyone needs somebody. Yeah? Even if it's just to sit, have coffee, and just look at each other. At least you know them. You know, there are those photos of two women holding coffee cups in school, just look at each other. But you know, even that counts. That's what we say being there for each other is about. You don't have to speak into my life and like, Sarah, now why did you drop off? You know, you need to finish school. You've not even thought, are you working, by the way? You know, don't be judgmental. Don't. Like, have a conversation with me. I am human at the end of the day.
Very true.
Because I'm just trying to put myself in your shoe. I'm annoyed on your behalf, don't worry. You know, I'm thinking the way it is hard being a woman, then I'll add a woman with challenges. And it's not something you can control. If I have issues with my hormones, I don't know how you deal, but big up. You know, because these are things that we can't control. It's God-given, you know, and all of that. So if people already feeling that you're out strong, so when that time comes. But anyway, it has been great just getting to learn a bit more about your life and the challenges that comes with it. But at least we have seen there is someone who's out there who's raising awareness. She has lived the life. Yes. Yeah. And if you have any questions, she's Sarah. We call her Bus. Yes. Like, what is the Facebook code? Do you prefer being Twitter, Insta, Snapchat, Facebook? You know, these days there is all those things that we have to keep up with. But if anyone has questions, because you know, maybe there is a girl out there who's struggling, trying to get out of this, and would like to reach out to someone who's passed this journey and has an experience. If you don't mind sharing preferred contact, so that this is what I like about Neurodigest in this space. I want it to be a space for connecting, where we link up, we educate, we empower each other. Not everyone has to walk that journey, make the same mistakes, suffer the same, but if someone has walked ahead, let them hold your hand, you know. So if you don't mind being that someone to someone else, you can share your Facebook page.
I will share. My Facebook page is /Pusiburi. With my page, I mean, on my Facebook page is also my personal, it's not personal, but it's just a page where I basically talk about myself, basically, in living with the spectrum, which is uniqueness with autism. Yes, that's where you guys can find me, and I am more than happy to help anyone and everyone. Yes.
You got a friend, so that girl, if you are raising a girl and you'd like for her to have someone who understands her and who's going to walk with her, Sarah is here. She is the light for autism, and she will walk with you. She understands, and she's been there, done that. She has a trophy. There you go. Yeah, she got it.
I'm very proud.
And very proud of it. And then Anastasia, tell us now, what are the future plans for StepUp for Autism, apart from the marathon, the therapy, and now recently Parker? Is there what we should be looking forward to coming from your organization?
We're really looking forward to having a school whereby we accommodate the children in the spectrum.
Okay.
Yes, that is what we really long for.
Okay.
Yes.
What is holding you back?
The funds, because it's voluntary, so everyone taking part is out of voluntary work. Yes, so like most of the things that we do is out of our own fundings.
Okay.
Yes, and still looking for some sponsors for us to get up and give up. Yes.
Don't worry, it comes nice and slow and easy.
Yes, sure.
All right, so we've come to the end of our show. You have been gracious with us and patient, and I am thankful, ladies, for coming and for being with us and for sharing your stories and what it is that you do, and kudos for the services that you offer. I'm sure someone out there will benefit, and that is the true essence of why Andy Speaks came together with Science TV to form Neurodigest, so that we can be of support to everyone out there on the spectrum, either cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, learning disabilities, dyslexia, all that, we got you. So I'm here with you. This is Neurodigest, our 18th episode, with me, Sylvia Mochabo, your host, and our interpreter. I'll allow you to do both sign language and voice, so at least today they hear your voice.
Sign language interpreter is Aurelia.
Aurelia. She was so soft. Aurelia is her name. She's been with us, and she's always helpful to make sure that we have inclusion, even of those who cannot hear, so that they understand, because you never know who can get affected and who lives next to the person who will just need this information to make a difference in their lives. Until the next episode, do have a good night, and thank you for staying with us. And remember, follow us on social media, and any questions on anything you'd like for us to let you know, let us know so that we got your back. Have a good night. Me, your host, Sylvia Mochabo, here on Neurodigest.